Hello, light beings. My name is Dee Sapphire, and thank you so much for joining me today. Now, I am so excited to finally have this part 2 video ready for you guys. It has taken me way longer than I intended, but better late than never. So in this video, I will be discussing with you how I navigate my psychic journey. And if you haven't checked out part 1, please do, as in part 1, I discuss how I discovered my psychic abilities. Now, if you or someone you know believes that they are a psychic, look no further. There is a link below in the description in which will direct you to my 11 signs that you are a psychic. I also want to mention that because of all the curious psychics that commented on that video, because of you guys, it inspired me to create this mini series. And I did it because I wanted to shine light on this subject and to let you guys know that you're not alone on this journey. I know how challenging it can be to open up to someone about your psychic abilities. So I want to say how proud I am of you guys for having the courage to open up and share with us what you are experiencing in your own psychic journey. So before I get into part 2, I want to give you guys a suggestion. Please take what speaks to you. This video is based off of my own personal experiences, so what works for me may not necessarily work for you. But my hope is that this video may spark something within you and maybe inspire you to look further into your own psychic abilities. So thank you guys again for joining me, and without further ado, here is part 2. Psychics remind me of radio frequencies. When tuned in, whether it's on purpose or not, we can retrieve information from the divine. Static can challenge the experience, just like when we're trying to get to the right frequency when tuning into the radio station of our choice. It's through the static in which we see, hear, feel, know, or even smell the information. To get through the static, a clear channel within may help in receiving the information. The less logic or ego that's in the way, the better. It can differ from psychic to psychic, as I've met some who can tune in like no problem. In my own personal experience, I've learned that alignment is key in receiving the messages from the divine and gaining the clarity that we are meant to receive. I've learned through my own trial and error that this psychic journey isn't a one-shoe-fits-all kind of deal. Sometimes you may feel tuned in and motivated to connect to your abilities. There may also be times where messages may come through without you even trying. Other seasons, rest is required, possibly even taking a break and concentrating on earthly pursuits. It truly depends on the psychic and what speaks to you. In sharing with you how I navigate my psychic journey, it isn't to convince you to do it my way. What helps me may not resonate with you, as your journey is different from mine. I do suggest to find what works for you, and most importantly, to honor where you are on your journey. In doing so, we lean into our souls and enjoy the beautiful psychic journey ahead. My first rule of thumb is to clear my energy. It's easy to pick up others' energies, such as through social interactions or even on social media. What we are is energy, and the less energetic congestion there is, the easier it is to remember our wholeness. Feel the stillness and connect to our psychic abilities. I try to clear my energy twice a day, as not only is it helpful for my spiritual health, but it's also helpful in the psychic department. This psychic journey is linked to my spiritual journey, and its similarities are evident. I do admit, though, sometimes I do get caught up in worldly matters, and it can influence how I view downloads that may be trying to get my attention. At times, I may misinterpret the signs or the psychic downloads. One way that I interpret if it's a misinterpretation is if my mind is loud versus a soft stillness. Meditation is usually my go-to when this happens, especially doing a chakra meditation to clear out any blockages or congestions. Being out in nature is also another great tool in recharging and clearing my energy. Connecting to Source and my guides are the second rule of thumb for me. I learned that we could ask for guidance when navigating our gifts. Prayer is power. It used to feel weird for me to ask for help in this department, but the more comfortable I got with it, the easier it was to surrender. They have never failed me when I ask for guidance or a sign. During turbulent periods of psychic visions, I dial it back, reconnect with my energy, and ask my guides to help me see what I am meant to see in a much more gentler way. I tend to rest more, meditate, limit my phone time, and focus on worldly pursuits to help ground myself. Surrendering to my source daily through prayer has helped me to build security. It's an uncomfortable period, but the more I let go, the less I overthink and trust that this is where I'm supposed to be. Going with the flow can do wonders for my anxiety. Honoring what is intuitively being asked is the best thing for me during this time. I cannot emphasize enough that this is a journey, and coming to this place of surrender is a process, so baby steps is helpful. Knowledge is power, and I believe that it's a great tool for us. I've read many books, listened to seminars, follow spiritual mentors or enthusiasts on YouTube, but this could be tricky though, as I learned that it's best to use our guidance system and discernment when consuming this type of knowledge. Not all information may be beneficial. When I first began my journey, I used to take on whatever was said and what I read that it became overwhelming and caused anxiety. False information can cause separation within self. There are many great spiritual mentors, and personally, I feel that it's best to focus on your own intuition when choosing what energy you want to let in. I've had to unfollow certain channels, but I still follow those whose energy I sense is comforting, positive, and honest. I have had experiences of what some may call psychic attacks, which I believe is more of an energetic imbalance of lower to higher vibrations due to not protecting my energy or taking on energy that wasn't beneficial. That's when I learned that not only do I have to cleanse my energy, but also protect it, as we as psychics are sensitive. Be cautious and use your intuition. The best knowledge truly comes from within. Fear is the indicator to take a break. I learned that through doing tarot readings. Recently, I haven't practiced channeling intuitive readings due to the overwhelming energies of the collective and my own soul lessons that I'm going through. Readings are a great tool in harnessing psychic abilities, but not all psychics are tarot readers, as these abilities can be harnessed in other ways. When it comes to future readings, the universe or our guides sometimes don't want us to know, as faith may be the lesson in itself. It may not be our time to know, or there's a reason we must not know. We are still human vessels, but also souls who chose to experience this life. Forcing psychic visions is exhausting and can cause more frustration and possibly psychic attacks. When fear or anxiety is present, if I desire visions, then that's my cue to not ask for one. Same applies to readings. If I'm in fear, then doing a reading is a no-no. The cards will only read my energy. I learned that you must be in a good vibrational state, and the more we let go, the more we allow what is meant to come to us. This also applies to listening or watching tarot readings online. I stopped watching them online as they were causing me more anxiety, confusion, and separation of self. But again, this is my own personal opinion. With my experience in channeling intuitive readings, I've learned that the future is not set in stone. We are manifestors with the ability to turn things around. I realize that my gifts are not limited to doing readings about the future. I have also felt a profound connection to past lives and have received my own past life visions. Deja vu is also a huge part of my psychic experience, and as a certified Reiki Level 1 healer, I've also received insight and images during my sessions. Self-care and balance are important. We must be aligned, mind, body, soul, in order to be energetically ready to receive what comes. I've learned that I must take care of my body through exercise, a healthy diet, and rest. My body tends to crave nature walks, dance, or yoga, but I also do other types of exercise, but these are the main ones I gravitate towards. What I watch or listen to is important as well. There are certain things that I won't watch, or I limit myself to watching because I am sensitive to energies. What we feed our minds and ears with can grow. Who we surround ourselves with is a big one too. This also applies to our interactions on social media. However, there must be a balance in this regard, and I'll explain what I mean. I used to feel so alone with these gifts, and there came a time where I pushed people away or refused to talk to people who weren't on the spiritual journey. I focus on the separation versus the love. Yes, there are some people's energies that can be difficult to be around with due to their own imbalances. And that's where balance comes in, such as setting boundaries versus letting someone in, and being in the world, not of it kind of deal. Be mindful of who you surround yourself with and care for your energy, but also don't close yourself off too soon. It's in the conversations that we may least expect spiritual insight from even those who are not on the journey. I've learned to focus more on love, forgiveness, and compassion instead of seeing the separation. We are multifaceted, and these gifts are part of us, but who we are is love. I do my best to balance this aspect of my life and have attracted some amazing people from all walks of life that have inspired me to seek the good in others. I do take time to recharge after any interaction, especially after a gathering or an event. This is a must, as these energies can be carried with us for days. It's all a balance, and I do my best to listen to what my body, mind, or soul needs. If I miss a day or two of energy clearing, then that's okay. I get right back to it as soon as I can. We are still human, so being gentle with ourselves through this journey is the most loving thing we can do for ourselves. In regards to seeking mentors or asking for guidance from other spiritual beings, I have had some help along the way, as I've attracted a few people into my life who understood or empathized with what I was going through. They have given me helpful suggestions and comfort in knowing that I am not alone. One of the best lessons that I've learned from them is to harness self-love, because in doing so, it helps us to practice leaning into our inner wisdom. The more we look within, the more we tune into our intuition. Strengthening our intuition is the ultimate superpower when it comes to strengthening our psychic abilities. And speaking of intuition, strengthening our gifts is a process, and one that I believe cannot be forced. I realize that much must take place before coming to this place of strengthening our gifts, such as taking care of our mind, body, and soul first, because receiving psychic messages is sacred and the downloads can create ripples of sensitivity. When I work on strengthening my psychic abilities, I document daily any signs, messages, deja vus, dreams, interactions, or synchronicities. Or in the 3D setting, I'll intuitively guess what the woman in front of me might order, such as at a coffee shop. In the past, I've used my intuition to connect with what someone was feeling or going through, and weeks later found out I was right. Most recently, I had this inner knowing about a major change that intuitively felt delicate. Its energies were intense, and I had to ground myself for weeks, until I unfortunately received the news of a karmic soul who transitioned. These intense inner knowings are ones that I believe are important to keep track of, even if we don't understand them just yet. Some can feel sad or scary, but I believe that if we ground ourselves and do our best to go with the flow, it may help us to see that our gifts may be helpful to those who seek it. It may even help us to appreciate life, those around us, and what we have today. This psychic journey can be and is a beautiful experience. The seasons and the many more that will come are here as an encouragement to help us understand our gifts, to trust our inner guidance, and surrender to the unknown. It has its challenges, but through this journey, I've learned that love is the answer to all. Love is what helps me push through in the eye of the storm. If you're on this journey, just know that your abilities are a gift to us all. My wish for you is to love and honor where you are at this moment. You have come so far, and I'm proud of you. Thank you all again for listening, and I wish you much love on this journey. Until next time, namaste.